Hi, Carlos.
Hey, Adrian, what's up? Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Hey, Adrian, what's up, man?
I'm much. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Carlos,
Good to
before
see
you
you,
get
man.
started on this, what do you do? I'm trying to figure out from your
LinkedIn, I saw
LinkedIn.
you that. I mean, it's funny that you say that, man. Like, honestly, I was like, you know what? I don't really have a clue about this Adrian dude, so just I want to go ahead and take a look at his LinkedIn profile. So I did that, and then like 20 minutes after that, I got a notification, and it's like, Adrian, just saw your profile, and I was like, haha, that's funny. So yeah, man. First of all, great to see you. Thank you for your time for sure. Yeah, so I've been doing Gigster for 3 years now, almost 3 years, and we basically build at the beginning MVPs for people that have an idea and they want to build their first MVP, launch it in the market. Website is gigster.com. You can take a look. For the past year, they started scaling a little bit more and decided to pivot into a more, let's say, enterprise kind of deals with bigger customers because the MVPs was fun at the beginning, but then bigger clients is more money. So they changed to more enterprise kind of deals. Um, so the reason I'm applying for this role is because one of my friends, Juan Delgadillo, he's someone I really trust, and he keeps saying so much beautiful things about Jobbatical, and I'm just I'm very grateful about um, being able to work remotely and build awesome products for people through Gigster. Um, and I worked really hard to be able to be a freelancer and travel the world while working. But right now in my career, I feel like I need an institution, a company that has that's vision driven, so that I can fall in love with the vision and be part of it to the point where I can get my skills to the next level. Because even though I love the freedom that I have today, um, I feel like I'm on a roof right now. Like I'm always doing things the same way. I know how Gigster works. I know how to build MVPs and launch them in the market. I know how to do that. But I want to join a company. I want to join a mission. I feel like I've been looking for a vision that inspires me to get to the next level. And so I've been looking around and I've been jumping in a bunch of different phone calls and trying to find a place that suits my desires, not trying to just land the next job. So yeah, man, I reached out to Juan. We jumped on a virtual call, drink some coffee. It was fun to catch up, and then he was like really excited and happy. And I was like, hey man, like what's going on? Like I see this light on your eyes. Like, what's up, man? I can tell you doing something fun. And he was like, yeah, this Jobbatical job is always teaching me different things, and I get to learn and do research. I can work from home if I want to. So I was like, I want to know a little bit more about that. And I reached out to a bunch of people, and this is the main reason we're here today, man.
Sweet. Actually, I'll take a step back now for a second, but it's good to know. By the way, when you see me here on the right, is I'm an avid note taker, so
Adrian, do your
the,
thing, man. Me too.
the screen is just for you. The notes are just for me. And it's glad to hear that Juancho is doing okay because I always give him an extremely hard time. Um, so good to know. Okay, so I'll start with this. I'll go back to the beginning. I'll tell you a little bit about Jobbatical.
Yeah.
If I may, I'll give you my 1 minute pitch on the company, and then we can jump into a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Some from me from you, some from you to me.
Let's get it.
So we're a company with a really, really, really simple mission. We want to remove borders and help the world work together. And there's a long backstory to this, but essentially our owner, at one point, she didn't think it was necessary to just have this distributed team, this non-distributed teams, this tiny little hubs, Silicon Valley, Austin or Dallas, et cetera, et cetera. And the rest of the world has to do with whatever they can. And instead of building a company to bring people to wherever it is that they feel like working, we do that today through hiring and through immigration. Although in our long term, we eventually, our ideal world is to be in the world of visas. What I mean by that is we want our talent to have their own visas into countries. I know it sounds a little crazy, but are you from Venezuela?
Say that again.
Are you from Venezuela?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Okay, so imagine, actually, our idea is best explained with an example. Costa Rica, I don't know how strong the Costa Rican passport is or isn't, but imagine having two identical people, one from Costa Rica and one from Germany. Whenever a country is looking to immigrate both of them, they'll usually take the German one because he has a stronger passport, regardless of whether that German is a carpenter and the Costa Rican one might be the best data scientist in the world. And that's what we're trying to remove in the world of work immigration, the passport bit. So that's essentially a long-term vision.
A legal process that's been doing for the same way and taking the same approach for years, and it's time to get up to speed to how the world works today.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. So with that said, we're still a venture-backed company, and we've never made a profit. We won't make a profit for a really, really, really long time. And we're relatively well-funded. We just closed our recent round of funding 3 months ago. Today, our hiring platform, has around 320,000 users. And that's pretty much it. That's the story of Jobbatical. So with that said, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump onto a couple of questions. Yeah. First about Gigster and you, and then about recruiting in general. Yeah. At Gigster, what was the largest role or the largest MVP that you guys helped launch, and what was your role in it?
100%, man. Ooh, good question. Largest MVP, yeah. So I'll have to say Panasonic. So that was 8 months ago. I was brought into this Panasonic project that the HQ back in Japan wanted to use Gigster and leverage their talent to build the first Internet of Things project where they are building a platform for smart houses. So with an application on your mobile phone or on an iPad, you will be able to turn on the lights, open the doors, close the doors, turn on the AC, turn it off, things like that. See the temperature of the house and do a bunch of things. So, and in terms of the reasons why is the biggest one is because it was $1 million client, and that was very exciting for me. And more than that, it was the challenge of managing stakeholders and deploying empathy to the biggest level, because so I can tell you a little bit about recruitment right now. So at Gigster, as product managers, we are sourced by HQ in the Valley, and then we have the responsibility to build the team based on clients' needs. So we jump on a call with the client, and it's to define the scope, like what's the requirements, expectations, what's the deadline, the budget, all things like that. And then after that, we have a pool of people, just like Jobbatical is always like I imagine like a pool of people ready to like pull in for a client or whatever. We have a pool of developers, engineers, data scientists ready. And I jump on a call with all of them and I interview them to find the best people for the project. So yeah, Panasonic was fun. Like we ended up launching the product. It was challenging because empathy was really important from the product side. So it was two product managers for this client, me and a friend. And so I made a mistake back in Panasonic. I searched for the most want to challenge the status quo people, because I thought that it was the Internet of Things. So we wanted to bring the most crazy, idealistic people to just come up with the most, breakthrough kind of technology for these houses. It was a mistake because I didn't know that the Japanese culture was so stifled and so like processes driven. Everything needs to be done in the same way every time. And I was like, I'm ready. Like finally Gigster is like, they believe in me. Let's get it, right? And I was super excited. So I brought the best most want to change the world people into the team, and you have no idea how challenging it was to make the tiniest change in the scope. This old Japanese people, they were like 9 and and telling me all of these things, and I was like, I fucked up. Like I was so scared, man. So I had to, me and the product manager, we had to deploy empathy to our team, which we sourced, and to this Japanese old people always trying to just have all the control. So we went into that situation, but we managed to communicate to the Japanese team, and we created extensive documents explaining why the team was coming up with these ideas and the reasons why and the analysis behind it. And we made it, man. We made it, and right now the product is being on a maintenance contract, but I don't do maintenance, so I'm not around of the project anymore. But it's still being working on, like it's still ongoing. And yeah, I mean that project allowed me to come to Europe for the first time, and like I helped my mom. She needed some money, and so it was the peak of my career, the Panasonic project. That's what I could share with you.
You're still in Europe, right? Correct?
Germany, yeah.
Okay, I'll ask you a couple of questions about this Panasonic one because it's interesting. Mm-hmm. You said it made it to market. Right now, it's on a maintenance basis,
maintenance program, yeah.
Okay, how big is Kickstarter? I'm sorry, I don't know about them.
100%, man. In terms of people, there's 1,000. There's 1,000 of us in this Slack channel. If that's the number you're looking for, but in terms of money, not really sure what's the latest number, but I could.
1,000 is 1,000 folks. It's good enough if you don't mind. When you say you build a team internally, meaning does somebody give you a database of people who you're going to source from?
That's a good question. Basically, Gigster has their HQ in the Valley, right? And that's 50 people. That's sales guys and engagement managers. And then from the building products perspective, it's all about freelancing contracts. So they have people from Europe, they have people from Asia, people from India, America. And so basically there's a hiring process. And then there's people coming into the Gigster website. You go into gigster.com/careers, and then you can apply as a freelancer. Then the hiring process starts, right? Basically, you get on a few interviews with people, you do a tech test, and then you do a personality test, and then an IQ test. And then after that, an HR manager will make the last decision if you're accepted into the Gigster network or not. And that's the kind of people I'm able to reach out from. The people that was accepted into the Gigster network as a contractor.
Got it. Okay. So with Japanese folks, I know you said that you did some documentation, that you tried to talk a little bit. How you turn it around? What'd you do?
Oh, yeah.
Because we deal with Japanese investors all the time. Actually, some of our investor base is from Japan, and I faced some of the struggles that you described before. I'd like to know how it is that you turn it around.
Yeah, no, like the best way I can communicate it is just deploying empathy. Like people is used to expect something, and like most of human dynamics is all about expectations, hopes, and fears. And I realized that I am able to be the bridge into my team and how the Japanese team wanted to handle things. I realized that from the Japanese perspective, they work really hard. Their processes are done perfectly, and there's also a little bit of egocentric kind of involvement. So I talked to my co-product manager, and we just we went by their book. So the team was coming up with ideas that will extend a little bit more the deadline of the project, let's say. It was supposed to be for 6 months, but the new ideas and the new things, we're going to push that for another 4 months. So how do you deal with such a thing, you know? And first, we earned their trust by jumping into a bunch of phone calls. Most of those phone calls were about discussing how the market works, getting to know them pretty much. I will jump on calls pretty much to interview them, even though they really didn't know that was going on. So earning their trust was the first step. The second step was to be really clear with the team, telling them, hey, man, if you want to change one single comma into this document, you need to give me at least 50 different reasons. And yeah, like being the bridge and the translator into how the team wanted to bring all of this creativity and power into the technology, and also handling all of the processes that the Japanese people wanted to put in place. So being empathetic, being open to criticism, being patient, and being honest. That's what we did.
Okay, Carlos, it's kind of a big leap to go from product management to recruiting. I got to know why. Like,
100%.
I understand the fact that Jobbatical is a mission-driven organization, but is that it? Is that enough?
Good
Why are you
question.
making the switch?
Good question. No, man. Thank you. And I'm loving that you're trying to find the truth behind my decisions. That's great. So yes, I mean I'm building products, but I'm not interested in just making money. I want to do something that's helping other people. That's the truth. And I know I have certain skills that can be used to build software or support software, or I don't know, man, build a platform to help other people. And I come from a small country, and I know the amount of hours, and I'm sure you look like a.
We live in a small country. Perspective. Costa Rica, how many people you have in there?
1 million.
4 or 5 million? A million?
1 million. 1.3 million.
Oh, never mind. It's the same size as Estonia. Okay. Yeah, small country. Continue.
Yeah. I mean, not about the amount of people, but it's an undeveloped country. That's what I wanted to say. So when I look myself and when I look back, okay, I'll tell you the truth, Adrian. Okay, so I come from a complicated family. So dad left home when I was 16, and when that happened, everything changed. My mom, she didn't have a chance to study because she's right now 46. So she got me when she was 19. So she didn't have a chance to go to college, educate herself, and have a career. So I needed to find a job so quick, man, and help my mom. So I started working when I was 19, and but I always had this driven soul of, like, I don't know, I wanted to use my life for something good, but I needed to make cash. So I just started working, and then overnight I will read books and learn about things because I love technology. So that's how the whole product management came to life, studying and working and like educating myself. But the more I learn things and the more I work, and I've been doing product for 3 years now. So it's not about just building things. The first reason I'm doing this, Adrian, is because it's time for me to be part of a mission, like I said. But I know you're trying to get more into. That's the first reason. Second reason is I need to make sure that I'm using my time to help other people. And me coming from a small country, knowing how much work I need to offer and how much value I need to bring to a table to be able to compete with a German, for example, it's just so unfair. And coming from that path, because I did it. I'm working for people in San Francisco. Like I did it, like I went through actual people not believing me because of my color. I lived that. I went through that a bunch of times, and the more I developed,
not believing you because of what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I've been through situations where people don't really believe in me because of my skin color, or the fact that I'm not American, or the fact that I'm not coming from a first world kind of country. So the mission that Jobbatical is trying to accomplish is something that I believe in, and it's something that I want to be part of. I'm not trying to just, I don't know, man, like get a job or whatever. I want to help. I want to help, and I know I can help, man. I've talked to some people, and I think the skills I have today can serve Jobbatical, and I can be valuable for the team. I heard a little bit about how much the salary is going to be on a monthly basis, but I'm not really caring about that right now. I want to start, I want to help, and I want to grow within the company. And I don't see myself living within the next 3 years. I want to be part of this, and that's why I'm applying.
Carlos, do you code?
I understand basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript a little bit.
Okay. You seem interested in topics. I'm surprised you never coded.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said you seem interested in all these topics. I'm surprised you've never coded. With that in mind, though, you said that you're familiar with some essentially basic front end. So how do you see you developing into it? So in order to be a recruiter, essentially you have to understand the tech.
Tech stacks, yeah.
Do you understand tech, and if so, what do you understand about tech, or what techs are you fluent in that you're able to speak? Essentially, a product manager, I expect them to they're able to go 1 inch deep only, but they can go 1 inch deep in a plethora of topics.
Yeah.
Talk to me about you and technology, please.
Good. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't code myself because I don't find it joy into coding. But I understand what tech stacks technologies can be used based on customers' needs. That's what we do as product managers. We match technology with ideas. So I'm obviously not an expert into I cannot say I can decide into what building blocks we should use for this project specifically to make sure that starting today, within the next 8 months, will be scalable. I cannot make those calls, but I understand I can make the shot if we'd rather go with Java or we want to use something more flexible. I don't know, man. That's depends on if you have some products you want to build right now, I could give you a shot and maybe you can review my answers to it with an engineer. That's something we could do. But I don't know how to code. I mean, I can make your website. I don't know, but I
don't want a website, Carlos. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can understand if I jump on a call with someone that's super fluent in, let's say, I don't know, man, databases, MySQL, for example. I'll talk to this person. I'll get ready though. I'll build a list of questions and probably some challenges to make sure he's actually able to do what he's saying, what he says. But I couldn't build a database myself, That's what I'm saying.
I like what you just said. I think that's going to get us somewhere. I'm just writing something down, okay?
Yeah, man.
You know what? I like what you just said. I really like what you just said. I'm going to get back to it in just a second. 2 more quick things.
Yeah, man.
Actually 3, and then I'll get back to it. So let's count. 1, I love relativity because you say Costa Rica is underdeveloped, but I lived for a long time in Nicaragua, and we looked at Costa Rica as wow, it's like Kuala Lumpur over there. So it's just funny about how relative the world is. I have a feeling you're going to get bored in recruiting, but you can tell me about that later on. That's not for me. I'd never not offer you a job because you'd be bored. That's something that you're going to have to contend with on your own. Have you ever thought about building something of your own? I mean, you've acquired the skill set. You've built all sorts of companies, build MVPs. What about you? What about the Carlos part?
Good question, man. This is the probably the greatest interview I've been in. It's scary to answer that. I honestly, for the past 2 months, I realized I love music, man. And I worked so hard to help my family, like you have no idea. Probably you do. So I had to kill my passions in order to help my mom for a long time. And for the past probably 2 years, now that I have a chance to support her and also have time and do things for me, the more I get to know me, the more I realize I like music. So my perfect life looks like this. I have a job that links my passion with work, and that means I'm building technology, hopefully a startup, or I'm part of a company that's in the tech world that's building a platform to help other people do whatever, either personal development or if they want to jump from their country to a better country to actualize a dream, then be it. But it needs to help other people. And the third thing, I have a chance to go back to my house or go back to my room, whatever, and make music. That's that's the perfect life. I'm not probably within the next 15 years, if my soul desires to build a startup or give it a shot, why not? I like risks, but right now I want to make music. So that's your answer.
Okay. I need one last thing from you, and then you can ask me whatever questions you have. Hey, test me in PSQL.
I'm sorry?
Test me in PostgreSQL.
Test me.
Yes, I don't mean now. I mean, you said that if you had to figure out whether somebody knows a topic, that you go, you do some research, and you come up with a couple of questions or challenges.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what you can come up with. You can do it in SQL or, not SQL, PostgreSQL, PSQL, it's a database technology, or in Visual Basic, VBA, whichever one you pick. I'd like to see what you can come up with. And I think that'll say a lot more than anything that you and I can come up with
100%.
together here.
100%. Oof, man. Yeah.
Hey, you offered it, brother.
I know. I like it. I love it. I mean, right. I mean, oof, man. I mean, can I have like 24 hours to get ready though?
Take as long as you need. I mean, it's your call. You tell me how long you need, and just shoot me an email or book me again. And
100%. 100%. Let's do it. Yeah, man.
Right, what do you want to know?
Yeah. First of all, I thought you were American. Like you went to the U.S. to study, or am I wrong?
I was born in Cuba, born and raised in Cuba.
Okay.
And then I moved to the States when I was a teenager, and I lived in Nicaragua for a couple of years in between.
Okay, and like why are you doing Jobbatical right now? Like what are you after?
I have a wife. I have kids. 2 years ago almost now, after living in Florida for like 15 years, we made an economic model of where we wanted to move next. We were deciding between Seattle, San Diego, Washington, D.C., and Estonia. Estonia won. They, from the variables that we need the most in our life right now, Estonia scratched the most, or they got the most scores, essentially. So like the weather, we're close to our family because she's from Ukraine. We have family in Ukraine. The schools are STEM-based, so science schools for children. The schools in Florida are shit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We made a model, Estonia won. We really like it here. It's perfect for us here.
Very good. Got it. And you've been doing finances from the very first start of your career. Now you're doing operations. Like
yes, although I still oversee finance. I'll never let go of finance. It's my passion.
Got it.
But my last role in my previous company, as senior director of finance for corporate marketing, I got to do something particular in there, which is I got to consult with a lot of really, really large global brands and build their economic models, which actually has a lot of operations in it. So from an operational perspective, when you're building economic models, you have to learn how every single aspect of an organization works. And I've gotten to do that for Lego, Verizon, Best Buy, is some of the largest American brands and European brands, American Airlines. So it just happened to be that there was a need for the role, and I couldn't say no because we actually needed me to go take it. So now I'm doing operations.
Very good, man. And if you can rub a lamp and you can craft the perfect candidate for this position, could you describe it for me?
Well, that's a tough question. I'll give it a try, okay? somebody who can honestly work with very, very little supervision or no supervision at all, somebody who wants to learn the topic and learn it on their own, and somebody who wants to go outside of the mold of, okay, I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to go in Google, I'm sorry, in LinkedIn and put ads in there and people will come to me, but that instead will go to the bar where the Java developers hang, or the chat room that the Java developers, and somebody who doesn't want to be in sourcing or in recruiting for the rest of their life. That's important to me. Like somebody who wants to use this job as a stepping stone for something else. I think that to me is the perfect candidate, right? But if you want, I can give you some more thought and let you know.
Yeah, sweet, man. I mean, what you just said is exactly who I am, you know? So I have a question now more for the role, for instance. How much time do you have for this interview, man?
We are 1 minute over and actually have a meeting that's starting just now, but we can keep it going if you'd like. I mean, send me that PSQL test and we can have another turn. Happy to. I am of the belief that interviewing is the most important part of my job and of everyone's job at Jobbatical.
Yeah.
If we are unable to build a kick-ass team, then we'll fail at everything we do. So I take this very seriously.
I can tell
which
that.
is why I'm really, really looking forward to your Postgres test, because I'd like to see what you can come up with.
Let's do it. So I'll shoot you an email just after the meeting, and then we'll take it from there.
Sounds good. Just a heads up, I have a board meeting on Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday, even though my calendar will show open, are bad days for me. We can meet again tomorrow or Friday, preferably Friday, so that I can have post-board meeting relaxation.
100%, man. One more thing. I'll shoot you an email after the meeting, and then I'll need you to answer with your expectations from this, okay? Just like
Sounds good.
All right, let's get it, man. It's been a pleasure, and have a great day.
Thank you, Carlos. Have a good one. Ciao.
Cheers,